We have got to talk about this insane Marvel rumor going around about Thor 4. You probably haven't heard about this, but it could actually be true and would be mind-blowing. What's up, everybody? It's Josh. Welcome back to the channel. Smash that like button like Thor, and let's get right into this. So this is a rumor, and we have to report it as just a rumor for now, but it is very, very interesting. And the entire reason that I'm even talking about this is because this is coming from an account claiming to be Roger Wardell. Now, for those of you that don't know, Roger Wardell is a Marvel scooper, and he is one of the only Marvel scoopers to have 100% correct track record on breaking scoops. This is the guy that told us about Fat Thor and about Cap saying Hell Hydra in Avengers Endgame way before we thought that was possible. Everybody back then was like, no way, Roger Wardell, you're wrong.
Move this man!
And of course, we know now that he was correct. But the thing is, guys, we haven't heard from Roger Wardell in like a long, long time. And this is a new Twitter account that is claiming to be Roger Wardell. And there's a lot of reasons to doubt whether or not this is the actual Roger Wardell, as this wouldn't be the first time that someone created a fake Roger Wardell account because they know his track record is really great and they want to disseminate this information. And so, again, that's why we're reporting it as rumor. And we're just going to speculate about this because it's fun. Now, I'm putting the tweet up here. This is the tweet. It says a version of Thor Corps will make its way into upcoming Thor 4. Notable members of the team included Beta Ray Bill, Dargo Couture, Thunderstrike, Simon Walterson / Throg, Groot, Gamora, Sif, Angela, and Storm. Roger Norvell character to appear in New Asgard. Now, a lot of people looked at this tweet and said, well, this is obviously a fake account. This is obviously fake news because the idea of using Storm, Angela, Sif, Gamora, and Groot and Throg in this film as members of the Thor Corps would be ridiculous. We don't even have Storm in the MCU yet. But as some people keenly pointed out on Reddit, that is not exactly what this tweet is saying. What the tweet actually says is that a version of the Thor Corps will make its way into the upcoming Thor 4, and then it goes on to mention notable members of the team from the comic books. Now, at the very end of the tweet, it does also say that Roger Norvell will appear in New Asgard. That seems to be like, again, referencing the film. Now, Norvell actually is a character called Red in the comic books, and he's literally some dude that was working on a documentary film set, and then he is given the powers of Thor by Loki in this big kind of scheme to do what Loki does and try to get this Red Norvell guy to beat Thor. Now, why do I think this could actually happen? Well, it all goes back to a really interesting thing that Taika Watiti said about Jane Foster Thor. You'll recall that people were asking him about that cancer storyline. Basically, people just wanted to know, like, Taika, are you doing Jane Foster Thor cancer storyline from the comics? And Taika clarified that although that run was a big inspiration for his ideas for the next film, that he's revisiting things, changing things, and Marvel always does that. They change things. Now, Taika is also on record saying this. He says, if you take Ragnarok, which I feel was a very outlandish and big bombastic film, we're trying to double down on everything we did with that and create something that is more crazy and even more of a big adventure. And so that kind of makes me feel like they can't just adapt the story from the comic book line with Jane. They have to do something crazier. We've also recently heard that the Guardians of the Galaxy will be in this film with Taika Watiti, and this comes on the heels of having it confirmed by Tessa Thompson that Christian Bale will indeed be the villain for the film. There was also a recent report coming out from We've Got This Covered, which we're very aware is not the best source over here, but it is still interesting, so we're going to talk about it. They reported that Liam Hemsworth, who is of course Chris Hemsworth's brother, will actually be showing up in the next Thor movie. He's coming into the MCU, and apparently the role he will be doing is actually Beta Ray Bill. Now, if you consider the fact that Loki may also be making an appearance in Thor 4, and the fact that Taika wants to do this big, crazy crazy adventure, I don't think it's too far-fetched that we might actually get a version of the Thor Corps. It's also really interesting that Beta Ray Bill does play a big role in establishing the Thor Corps in the comics, or at least the original version of the Thor Corps. And so in this scenario, maybe it's not just Jane Foster getting a hammer, but maybe it's a bunch of different people getting different hammers, and they're all being created to make the Thor Corps to fight against whatever this crazy villain is that Christian Bale ends up being. Now, the reason I like this so much is because it's absolutely nuts, people. This would be one of the craziest things we've ever seen, and it just feels so Taika Watiti to take this concept, right? And he wants to make Jane Foster a Thor. Totally makes sense. I get it. It happened in the comic books. That storyline is actually really, really cool. But what an interesting way to blend different storylines, just like he did with Ragnarok, and bring in the Thor Corps, introduce Beta Ray Bill, and have other characters wielding hammers as well. I mean, we know Tessa Thompson's Valkyrie's in the movie, and she was talking about how exciting and crazy the script is. So what if she gets a hammer as well? We've got Valkyrie with a hammer on the Thor Corps. We've got Jane Foster Thor on the Thor Corps with a hammer. We've got Beta Ray Bill, maybe even Groot. Groot was a member of the Thor Corps in the comic books, and so this would make a lot of sense and be a really, really cool way to make Love and Thunder an amazing film for all kinds of different people. I also think this would be really smart, considering some of the feedback Marvel might be getting after making the announcement of Jane Foster Thor becoming Thor. A lot of people didn't like how much Odinson was kind of thrown to the wayside in the comic books, and they didn't like this idea of like elevating Jane and like making Thor look bad or feel bad. And because they just did Fat Thor, I think Thor has been kicked to the curb quite enough, and we want to see him get back to being the badass that we know and love. And in this type of a scenario, we could actually have Thor coming in as a total badass again, establishing the Thor Corps, like leading this Thor type group of Avengers out there to try to defeat this villain that Christian Bale is. And if Christian Bale ends up being Gore the God Butcher, this would make all the more sense. I mean, what a better way to fight against Gore the God Butcher, who is insanely strong and has the all-black Necro Sword, which is a crazy powerful weapon, which allows him to do all the things that he does. What a better way to fight all of that than to have a bunch of other magical weapons that were created for the Thor Corps. This also could blend some really interesting stuff from one of my favorite comic book runs called Fear Itself, in which the serpent comes back to reclaim Asgard, and then you literally have all of these different weapons created by the Uru Forge and by the dwarfs. And so maybe we get some more Eitri, right? We get some more of creating these crazy weapons for all of these new Thors. That would be really cool. And the last reason that I think this would be dope is because the Thor Corps is actually something that is in Secret Wars as well. On Battleworld, the Thor Corps, or the Thors, are essentially the police of that Battleworld. They literally work for Doom, but they're the police. They fly around, make sure things are okay. And in that scenario, we get a bunch of sort of Elseworld versions of Thors, including Storm and different characters like that. And so we could potentially be setting something up for the eventual Battleworld movie as well. And so it's a pretty crazy rumor, folks, but there's actually a few reasons out there to believe this could be possible, and I would personally love it. I want to know what you think about this. You think that's a fake Roger Wardell? You think there's no way this is happening? Or do you think there's a chance, and how would you like it? Let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section below. And now let's shout out Carlos Rodriguez. It is indeed the Ebony Blade, but we'll accept Ebony Sword, that Black Knight uses in the comics. So shout out to you, Carlos. And now let's ask another nerd card question before we get out of here. I want to know, what is the name of the character that Odin makes Thor be on Earth in order to teach him a lesson? There was this moment in the comics where, very similar to Thor 1, Odin sends Thor to Earth and makes him completely forget about being Thor, and he is instead a doctor from Harvard University. What is the name of that character? Answer that question in the comment section below. I want to remind you that the Battle Bracket 2020 contest is still going on. Make sure you are checking on our Twitter community tab and Instagram every day, Monday through Friday, for the rest of March. Battles are taking place, and your vote counts. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching this video. The Den of Nerds is independent media. If you want to support us, you can do something as simple as liking or sharing this video. If you want to financially support us, you can join the list of names you see below and become a supporter of us on Patreon. We also do live streams all week, Monday through Friday, over on our live streaming channel. Support independent media. Support the Den of Nerds.